Alright guys, well I'm back today with one of the most impressive 9mm I've ever shot, and one of the smoothest 9mm I've ever shot. This is a Heavy Armor Division 1911 chambered in 9mm, and this one was custom made. These guys are offering a very limited run of these 1911s for 2019, so if you like this 1911 at the end of the video, make sure you check out the information in the description below. I'm going to go over all the specs and features, the performance, and all the particular modifications you can order before they custom fit these handguns together and ship them out. Let's talk about those details and specs and the overall price and quality of this particular pistol. Heavy Armor Division lives and breathes 1911s. That is what their company was founded on, creating and building custom 1911s or modify existing 1911s that somebody would send in to them for some nice custom work. They also have branched out in recent years to make custom rifles, including AK-47s, AR-15s, and FALs, as well as a heavy presence in the Glock world of custom coating and cutting Glock slides and making Glock 19 complete uppers. So if you do like some of those other platforms, go check out Heavy Armor Division as well for all of those other components. I actually have a lot of reviews on my channel of some 1911 parts, as well as some Glock 19 parts that Heavy Armor Division has modified and created from scratch. The first thing I want to talk about is the price, because if you guys have ever looked up custom or high-end 1911s, you'll realize that they climb well above $2,000 to $3,000 for a very nice hand-fitted 1911. This particular pistol, though, either chambered in 9mm or 45 ACP, comes in at $1,200, so a very high value, especially for what you get and the customizable features that you can include in your particular 1911 that will make it stand out from others on the market and really fit it to your specific needs. And that is one of the first things I want to talk about, is the fact that this really can be customized to you specifically. A lot of other high-end manufacturers, when you start doing something like that, charge an incredible premium for that value. I mean, you know, they're tailoring it to you and they can't really mass produce something like that. So having a 1911 of this quality that is really customized to your specific needs is a very high value price at the $1,200. The first thing I want to talk about is the frame and the chambering. You can get this chambered in 9mm or 45 ACP, and that is pretty slick to pick between the two different calibers. I personally love the 9mm, especially in this platform. Now this is actually made on an STI lightweight frame, so a good quality frame, and there are two different frame options. You can get the one where the Picatinny rail extends all the way to the end, or you can get it cut off to where it's a partial Picatinny rail where you can still mount your lights and lasers like this Viridian seen here. The next thing I want to talk about is the slide itself. You can see it is covered in a custom Cerakote. I believe this is one of their Heavy Armor Division black colors. You can get this in a few different drop-down selections on their website, so you can pick your specific color to match the colors you either select for the frame, and I believe they're offering the black and white G10 grips. The 9mm slide comes with front and rear cocking serrations, and the 45 ACP version only comes with rear cocking serrations, something to consider. This particular 1911 is incredibly smooth. I mean like buttery smooth. And the cocking serrations on the front help you do press checks with ease because this pistol is so smooth. They also offer a variety of slide cuts located on the front of either of the styles you pick, the 45 or the 9mm. Again, there will be pictures all throughout their website, as well as in the drop-down menu of this particular selection. Located on the top of the slide are three different sight options. There are some night sight options as well as true glow sight options that are the fiber bundles. I really like the fiber bundles, especially if this is going to be a competition or a range handgun, because it allows you for those quick acquisition of targets, quick acquisition of that front sight, and this thing is a tack driver. I'm going to jump a little bit ahead and talk about accuracy since we are mentioning the sights and slide. I can easily make 50 to 75 yard shots with this pistol, better than any other handgun I have in my entire arsenal. This thing is a tack driver. And talking about accuracy brings me to the barrel. The barrel itself is actually a match grade Para or Clark ramp barrel with custom flutes cut inside as well as a custom crown cut on the end of the muzzle, keeping it inherently more accurate if you happen to damage the tip of the muzzle. This allows you to really protect the ends of the rifling and allowing for more accurate shots, especially if you're using this for competition and you may have to holster or dump this somewhere. Something like this is going to be a little bit more protected than a traditional barrel. And the barrel itself is just incredibly smooth lockup with the slide. I mean, it looks good and it feels good. Again, just a high-end custom 1911. I've already mentioned that this is an STI frame and you can actually custom Cerakote this to match your grips and your slide. Again, the G10 grips are very nicely done and these are actually specific to Heavy Armor Division, and if all you take out of this video and you already have a 1911 is the fact that these guys are actually offered on their website for a very reasonable price for just the grips. You can see a quality set of grips, and I believe right now these are actually under $30 if you happen to buy them separately from the pistol. But these rival some of the nicest G10 grips you can find on Amazon, so a very slick setup. This also has checkering on the front and back straps of the pistol, allowing you to get a good purchase on the handgun, even if your hands are wet or in adverse conditions. It allows you, again, to grab this pistol and really dump through the rounds without issues whatsoever. The other cool thing about Heavy Armor Division is they can custom laser engrave the slide with whatever you want, either custom text or custom images. Select from their gallery online via Facebook or Instagram or their website, or you can send them a custom image and they can see if they can laser engrave it on the slide. So this will really tailor it to fit you specifically, something that makes it stand above and beyond, especially if it's a commemorative piece or something you really want specifically for you. There are a few more features I want to talk about that directly correlate with the performance of the pistol. The first one is ergonomics. We've already talked about the serrations in the front and rear backstrap, but I also want to talk about the grip safety. It flows very nicely and it has a very good feel to it. It fits your hand perfectly. It allows you to interface with the safety itself very nicely to get a good high grip on the pistol without getting slide bite, as well as an easy access point to the safety itself. Now this is the extended safety, so if you want something like this, I believe you're going to have to ask for that specifically on this pistol, or it will come with a standard safety. I highly recommend that. The magazine release works very well, and the mags insert and drops freely, so that is great for those speed or tactical reloads. The slide stop and slide release works very nicely, and it has some nice texturing up here, so you can easily drop that slide home on that next magazine. Overall, ergonomically, all of the controls stay out of the way where they should, but interface well with the user where they should as well. It's got a skeletonized hammer, and the trigger itself is incredibly impressive. Let's show you guys that on camera. You can see it has just the subtlest take-up, a 3 to 4 pounds break, and it is one of the nicest triggers I've felt on a 1911. The reset is insanely short, audible, and tactile, followed up by a nice, clean break. I could dry fire this gun all day. I absolutely love the way the trigger interfaces with the pistol and the sights and the quality barrel to allow you to really make those hits at a distance. I can also shoot this 1911 faster than any other 9mm handgun I have, making this thing a speed demon. It flies through the rounds and you go through 10 rounds of 9mm quick in this 1911. So grab a ton of 9mm if you happen to pick one of these up and a couple of mags because you are going to burn through the ammo. This is a perfect competition pistol. This would not make a good carry gun because it is so big, but that weight and the large feel of the pistol helps it just point very nicely, mitigate the recoil, which is non-existent on a 9mm 1911 like this, as well as the long sight radius helps you make those shots at a distance like I talked about earlier, all the way out to 75 yards with no problem on man-sized targets. This truly is a competition master. Everything works smoothly and integrates nicely together to make this one of the nicest 1911s, and again, one of the nicest 9mm I've ever shot to date. I can't recommend this pistol enough, especially with all the quality craftsmanship and hand fitment that went into producing something like this. I absolutely love all of the attention to detail and the fact that you can laser engrave it to your specific needs and really custom fit the colors to whatever you want. This is a steal at $1,200 in my opinion, because I've been looking at some of these high-end 1911s, especially the 9mm ones, and again, those prices are insane. So call up Heavy Armor Division and tell them 704 Tactical sent you over, and they will help get you set up on a custom 9mm or 45 ACP 1911. Stay tuned, I'll be doing an update in the future, and I'm reviewing this Viridian light laser combo, which is pretty slick and mean looking on this 1911. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.